there, my name's Danny and my channel is Our Humble Home, and today's video I am doing another furniture makeover to flip, and this is a Madang sofa table that actually is part of, or was part of, Super Amart range. I'm not sure how old it would be. Recently I bought actually a 6-piece package for $50, which was an absolute bargain. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And this is the first piece out of the set that I'll be doing up. I wasn't sure exactly what I was doing at this point, but the piece is in quite good condition. You could actually have just put it in a home like this. There's nothing really wrong with it at all, apart from the fact that it's sort of outdated. The color's very dark and that sort of thing. So I am going to transform it into something really pretty and modern. So the first thing I'm doing is taking off the handles. They actually were recessed in because you could see the screws were quite short. The screws wouldn't have fit through. So I'm just setting up now, and the first thing I'll be doing is scuff sanding. So sanding or scuff sanding, it's not really taking much off, it's just creating a bit of a rough surface to apply the paint, just so the paint won't come off easily. And of course too, not forgetting to clean underneath. This piece was really clean actually. We bought it from a retirement home. It wasn't a nursing home, it was from a retirement home, and some people were moving out, I gather. I'm not sure if they were going into a nursing home, but you know, that always upsets me a little bit when I see that. This is the second time I've actually purchased something from someone who's been moving into a nursing home, and yeah, just a little bit upsetting. But they were beautiful pieces, and the idea I actually have for them is to make this into a fluted piece. So I'll be putting these panels, fluting, I think it's pretty well called. I think this is bamboo actually. I'm not too sure, but it was from IKEA. This panel was $15, and this will be enough to do what I want to do with it. So I'll be putting it on the drawer fronts, and I'm just measuring here to see if it fits neatly, and it does. I won't have to cut down the middle of any of the strips. It actually fits perfectly all the way across. I'm just measuring the width, and then I will cut it out, or I will get David to cut it out with his circular saw. So I'm just putting the masking tape down. I guess it serves two purposes if you don't want to mark the timber that you're working with, but also when David uses a circular saw on this, it helps to create a smooth edge so it won't fray or splinter. And that was the main reason that I put the masking tape down. I was really excited actually about using this stuff to do a makeover. I've had it sitting there for so long, and I was thinking, you know, just trying to find the right piece to use it on. Now, the problem with this piece, or something I really didn't like about it, was this thing in the middle. I didn't want to replace it with the other thing that was in it. I thought I could use the paneling as a feature. Another idea I had was to actually put a pine panel on the top, and at this point I thought, yes, I will do the pine panel. I changed my mind. I thought I could buy my own jigsaw for the price that it would cost to put a panel on, and then I would have my jigsaw to use for future projects. So this is a jigsaw I bought from Bunnings. I mean, it's an ultra cheap, really cheap jigsaw. It was only $30, but I read some good reviews on it, and I thought, well, you know, they're normally under warranty anyway. If I don't like it, I can always take it back. And here I'm just unboxing it and trying to figure out how to put the blade in. At first I didn't think the blade was there, but it was down at the bottom of the box. It's only a little blade. And it also came with a little attachment for a vacuum sort of extractor. So what you have to do is use the Allen key that actually has a space on the jigsaw. It's got a little holder there. Loosen the bolts, put the blade in, tighten up the bolt, and then it's done. Actually, in some of the reviews it says the blade isn't all that good and you're better off buying a more expensive blade, but I found the blade cut really well, and I was so pleased with it because normally I have to get David to cut things for me, but now I can cut them myself. So that was good. I was excited about that. And yeah, so I'm just cutting here. I'm cutting the middle piece that will go into the little cutout on the top. I decided to go that way, and in the end I just forgot about the clamps. I didn't use them because they were just getting in the way, and I just held the piece down with my hand and cut it with the jigsaw. The back of these panels are held together with like a fabric. It's like a calico sort of fabric, and I guess that's what helps it to bend, because these pieces are used as a couch protector for the arms so that they can flop over the couch. And I found that I did have to sort of pull the fabric away at the edge because it was sort of fraying, and I also had to sand in round the corners just so it would fit neatly into the little groove on top of the table. This is the sealer undercoat primer that I always use. And I ended up doing 3 coats of this before I put the paint on. I don't spray my pieces, I always brush, but recently I have been brushing and then rolling, and I have tried just rolling in the past, but I don't like it because I can never get the right amount of paint on, and I find that I use way too much paint when I just use the roller. So brushing then rolling gives a beautiful smooth finish, and it also doesn't use up too much paint. I always make chalk paint using calcium carbonate, so 1 dessert spoon or tablespoon in just a little bit of water, and I add that to 1 cup of paint, and I'll be using my Mist Tint paint pot again. I actually did have this made up specifically for me because this was the original one. So this paint color actually gave me the inspiration for this piece. I used it on a previous piece, the dresser, but on the left hand side you will see the little side table, and that's from Pillow Talk, and that's what gave me the inspiration for this piece because it was fluted, but it was also the same color that I previously used, and I thought, wow, that's a really big coincidence. So it just made this piece really modern and up to date, and something you would actually find in a shop Now, although in saying that, I do like to make my pieces something that you wouldn't find in a shop or that you wouldn't actually be able to buy, something that is sort of custom made. And I think that helps the pieces sell well as well, because this table actually sold within the week and I had multiple offers for it. And yeah, I was really pleased. So it did turn out to be a success. I actually put 4 coats of paint on, and originally I didn't know what I was doing with the top. I was going to put the board. When I realised that I was not going to do that and I just bought my jigsaw instead, I thought I'll paint it. So I sanded it. I put 3 coats of primer on the top and 4 coats of paint. When I paint a piece light that is dark, I always, and I generally do anyway, paint the little inset pieces here on the ledge, because when the drawers close, sometimes you can see the darkness behind it, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to look like it had been fully painted, and actually doing this with the craft brushes is really satisfying too. I enjoy that. These handles, curvy gold, wavy gold handles, actually I think they're called, but from Kmart, and they're pretty new. I think they're a pretty new release. They were, the holes were a bit narrower than the handles that were on there, so I did have to drill in again just to adjust where the holes were on the drawer front. And I decided to make a template out of this piece of timber. I use this piece of timber as a ruler because it's quite long, but I thought, well, I might make a little template for the handles, and then it's sort of multitasking this, and I can do that with other handles as well, just along the timber there. But I thought that was a good idea, and it did the job as well. I'm using my maxi nails to apply. This is like a construction adhesive, but you could use a wood glue, I guess a PVA glue or something like that. And I decided to fill in these gaps because they're a bit unsightly, and I thought, you know, painting in there, it would get a bit messy and it would be hard to get in there and cover what's underneath. So I just used my multi-purpose filler, which you can use for a lot of different things, not just wood. And yeah, it's my favorite filler at the moment. I use it for everything. And I sanded this back just to create a bit of a rough surface, and I primed and I painted, and then I put the handles on. When I put the handles on, I wasn't really thinking, and I put them on upside down. I sort of realized that they were on upside down when I put them on. And I was going to leave them like that, but then my table looked unimpressed. So I did end up twisting them around and putting them on the other way. And again, I'm just applying some wallpaper to the inside of the drawers and the outside of the inner drawers. This is actually from Temu, and I really like their self-adhesive wallpapers. They have a lot of different styles and they're really pretty, and I use them on a lot of my makeovers, that or stencils. I find are nice on the inside of the drawers. I probably didn't even need to use the maxi nails to put this little panel in at the top. As it turned out, it sort of was quite snug fitting, and it took a little bit to push it in so that it sort of snapped in place. So it probably wouldn't have come out anyway, but just to be sure, I used my maxi nails for that. And I put the drawers in after I waxed the piece. I used my Glitz beeswax for this. I might start trying to use polyacrylic for the top of my things, but I do really love the beeswax, and it's such a beautiful sheen. It's not a shine, but it's a beautiful matte sort of sheen, and it does protect it as well. So I hope you like my Amart to Pillow Talk inspired makeover this week. It sold very quickly and the lady really loved it. I hope she has many years of enjoyment out of it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next week's video. Have a great week, and bye for now.